hurts. And if it doesn't hurt, maybe we're not doing it right. Because if we're not any different than them, then maybe we don't really got it. Listen, following Jesus hurts. And there are times that it'll knock the wind out of you. And there are times it's going to knock your back out of whack, but you can't quit. You can't stop. You just say, we're pressing on, pressing for my blessing, we're going to another level. You just saying that. You can't quit. We talked about this last week. When life gets hard, the hero invites the conflict. The hero invites the confrontation. So I get past it. So we move on. And I don't know how to tell you this, but you can't quit. Life is hard. Life's hard enough, but serving Jesus and this life makes it doubly difficult. You know what I'm talking about? True? You can't quit. What's he want to kill? That's easy. He wants to kill your fellowship. Satan wants to kill your fellowship. Fellowship is this really cool churchy word, which means hanging out. It means being together. Around here we use the word connect, or connected. Connecting people to people and people to God. That's our mission. Why? Because we need fellowship. We were not made, we were not created to live by ourselves. No man is an island. That is so true. We were created to live in community. We were created to live in company of other people. Okay? You have to get connected to survive this battle. I promise you, you cannot serve Jesus by yourself. You have to be a part of a family. You have to be a part of a community. And that's why the local church exists. It doesn't exist because we think we're right. It exists for us to all journey together so that we can be connected, so that we can survive. Because the truth is, when we get to the end, if we all made it but one of you, then we didn't win. We only win if we all get there. That's the goal. That's the goal. And so that's why it's important for you to be connected. You and I have got to have each other. And if we lose our connectedness, then we probably lose our joy. Think about what happens. People go to church for a while, they're all excited, got lots of joy, and then what happens? Something sneaks in, they stop going to church, they stop hanging around people that are thinking kingdom things, and pretty soon they're not excited about it anymore. Okay? So it goes either way. He gets your joy, you drop out of fellowship, or you drop out of fellowship, and pretty soon your joy is gone. If you take a stick out of a fire, it doesn't stay lit very long. Okay? Same thing. It's a spiritual principle, and we need each other. You need us, and we need you. And those of you that are new, you need us, whether you know it or not. And we need you, whether you know it or not. And we got a space for you. We got plenty of love and grace for you. You need this, and we need you. That's why God has us connected today as friends. If there was anybody that ever should have survived the fellowship issue, it should have been me. When I was a child, many of you don't know this, but I had a drug problem. My parents drug me to church every weekend. And it wasn't just weekends. It was Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. We went to church on vacation. I was not allowed to play Little League on Wednesday night. And my dad was the coach. So the coach and the son, the pitcher, didn't show up because we weren't going to miss church. This was my entire life. Now, I'm not talking about like when I was a little boy. I'm talking about my entire life. I was not allowed to miss church. We'd go off on vacation, got to go to church, walking in with a bunch of strangers like some of you did today. These are stranger than most. Maybe we are. Okay, but I had to go to church. Why? Because it was important. And I'm a preacher's kid, and I should have never had a problem with this. And what happened was, I went to college, which was crazy enough, but then I got married, which was crazier than that. And I didn't know this, but you have to have a job to be married. Nobody told me that Bill, you know him? He comes every month to your house, like in all these little envelopes. I didn't know that. It's like, I'm going to live on love. You know, that's great for 30 days. And you know what happened? Stark reality hit me. Okay? And I had accepted this job at a golf course, and next thing I knew, I was a golf pro. I was 18 years old and turned professional. Tiger was 21. I was 18. Before Tiger, there was Tom. Okay? Don't ever forget that. But here's the thing. I started working in the golf business, and I, climbed my way up the ladder. Sherry, I lived in Michigan. Sherry was from Florida. We met in Indiana. We moved to Florida because in Michigan you can't work in golf all year because they have that thing called snow. And so I thought moving to Florida was a great idea. And so I'm up in Pensacola, Florida, working in the golf business. And those of you that are even thinking about getting married, I want you to listen. Sherry made $60 a week working at Montgomery Ward selling shoes, and I made $200 a week in the golf business. So we lived on less than $12,000 a year. Okay, those of you that are thinking about getting married, I want you to listen really, really close. Don't do what I did. Okay? Because nowadays, you could never make it on that. Not in Orlando. True? Okay? So, pay attention. Okay? I was so in love, I didn't add it up. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, we made it. 26 years, we made it. I got a $25 a week raise, and I was like, whoa! I thought I was the richest man in the world. Kept climbing the ladder, and next thing I know, I'm the head golf pro at Tuscaloosa Country Club in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is where the University of Alabama is, Roll Tide. And so that's where I ended up. And I was making a lot of money. I was 23 years old. My taxes, the last year I was in the golf business, were $86,000. Okay? That's a lot of cha-ching. Okay? And that's back in 1985. Okay? That's a lot of dough. And my wife walked in one day and she said, listen, we need to have a conversation. I said, all right. She says, do you want to be married or do you want to be in the golf business? And I went, well, what does that mean? And she said, I need you to start going to church with me. I'm like, oh, please. See, when you're in the golf business, Sunday's one of the busiest days of the week. Because all the country club people want to play golf on Saturday and Sunday because that's when they're off work. But for in the golf business, that's a work day. Okay? I had one day a year off, Christmas. One day a year. I was supposed to be at work every other day. And if I wasn't at work at my own country club, I was traveling teaching for Golf Digest. That was my life. 70, 80 hours a week. That was, man, 60-hour week would be a break. That means it rained 3 days. Okay? And that's just the way it was. It was the grind. I tried going back to church with her at this one church, had some issues, and so I said, fine, if we're going to church, we're not going there, we're going to the little church around the corner. And in the 2 years that we had lived there, they planted a church in a funeral home that within 2 years had become a full K-12 school, preschool plus to 12, and had built a gymnasium all debt-free. And I'm like, I just want to go see this. I want to see what, obviously they're doing something wrong. So I went there that night and I said, God, if you'll just tell me what you want me to do with my life, I promise you I'll do it. No problem. No questions asked. And they walked in, and it was a Southern Baptist church called Open Door Baptist Church. And we walked in and we sang a song here and we sang a song there and we sang the Baptist National Anthem, which is Victory in Jesus. And then we did this, and you know, y'all know the song. And if you've been to a Baptist church, you know the song. And so I walk in and I'm sitting there, and we met this young couple who sat next to us, Chuck and Jerry Carlisle. 26 years ago, and today, to this day, they're still some of our dearest friends that we met tonight. Time for the preacher. Now they don't call them pastors in Alabama, the preachers. Okay? And the dude that comes out, his name is Danny Lovett, Dr. Danny Lovett now. He's now the Dean of Seminary at Liberty University. And he comes out, and I'm not playing. He's about that tall, and he's about that wide. About that wide. Okay? And he comes out with his suit and tie on and his big, gigantic Bible, big enough to choke a mule. And he comes out, puts that on the pulpit, takes his microphone, gets it all ready, he says, there's some of you here tonight? I'm like, oh, he just spit all over people. He sounded just like Sylvester the Cat. I'm not playing. There's some of you here tonight, you want you to know what God wants you to do with your life. But God's not going to tell you what He wants you to do till you do what He's already told you. Listen, we've got this idea that God, if you just tell me the secrets of the universe, I'll do it. And God's like, dude, I've already told you this and you're not doing that. God is not obligated to tell us what to do tomorrow until we do what He said to do today. Would you agree? Okay. So He's coming to you and I'm like, He's calling me. And this dude starts preaching and stomping and snorting around and shaking his finger and spitting on people. God, he was anointing people. It was crazy. I'm like, come on. And he starts quoting Bible verses. And I'm like, nah, I'm not too sure about that one, so I'd write it down. He quoted another one. I read one. See, he was Baptist. I was raised Church of God. We all know Baptist takes Scripture and they twist it and make it say what they want. That's the way I was raised. So are some of you. Don't lie. So I write them down. Listen, this clown quotes 77 Bible verses in one sermon. Word perfect, from memory,